Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. And certainly, we had Hurricane Helene come in. Thank you for all the well wishes and prayers that you guys posted. We were certainly on the outskirts of the hurricane, so we were more mildly affected, although there was some pretty heavy winds and rains, certainly in our area. But I do say that in comparison to some of the other parts of the state that got pretty hammered in some areas of flooding. So I thought some prayers go out to all those people and all those families and communities that were affected. And I do want to welcome you to the channel, certainly, wherever you're tuning in from the world. From around the world. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's pretty early here, and I do appreciate that. And of course, all the regulars, say next, smash that like button. This helps get this content out to more people and helps support the channel. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate all the wonderful, kind comments that people take the time to leave, and I do appreciate all the questions. I look to get back to those as soon as possible. Don't forget the cheat sheet is below in the description. I get asked questions all the time, and the answers are actually in the cheat sheet. Okay, so check out the cheat sheet. I get asked about what I think about this price and where I think it's going and take profits. It's in the cheat sheet. And if you've checked out the cheat sheet and you still can't find the answers, I'm more than willing to help out and try and keep that cheat sheet as updated as possible. And certainly does need a bit of. So we're going to jump into the news. The news here is Bitcoin millionaires, and over half of the millionaires that have reached the status actually were from Bitcoin. This may surprise some people. It's probably good to know in general. There are estimated 560 million people that hold crypto. That seems like a pretty small amount, in my opinion. We are very early. Only 0.16% achieved millionaire status from crypto since the beginning. Half of those were exclusively from Bitcoin. So you think that, it's going to be easy, make $1 million in this bull run. Certainly there are ways to make that happen, and I'm here to help us all get to that status or get as close to that status as possible. But I just thought this was interesting. Certainly now, if you want to become a millionaire from Bitcoin, I think that ship has sailed. And so that's why a lot of people are looking to the altcoin area to say, hey, how can I in the right altcoins at the right times? What are the entry levels? What are the take profit levels? That's what my cheat sheet is here for. That's what my trading strategies, my life-changing games trading strategies are for. And I'm glad to hear that more and more I see, particularly in the Discord and on the comments here, that people have got these, not just the one hodl strategy, but they've got the swing trading now. And obviously the day trading is the third one. Sure, I think two, at least for me, is just so important personally. Three is even better, of course, for me. And I will certainly, if you haven't learned about my trading strategy, my triple threat trading strategy, life-changing gain series is in the cheat sheet below. It is free for you to watch. And certainly I know I'm getting great feedback for those of you who've gone through those videos. Okay, open interest, there's a little bit of an open interest warning here. And certainly it's one of my top indicators, and it's starting to get into a little high. We're in a high risk zone. In my opinion, it's not the best time for fresh long position. Take care, buddies. Thank you, J.A. Martoon. And so this is something just to keep an eye on here with the along with the greed index. But here you can see whenever we always defaults to like that. But so you can see whenever open interest, this is open interest here. And whenever it gets super high, you can see the price it gets flushed out. We saw it didn't even get that high here, and the price flushed out, and now it's climbing here. So you can see it's getting a little bit high here. So just keep an eye on open interest. You can go to coinalyze.net. This is a free tool, Bitcoin open interest. You can look at it on different time frames here. If we switch to the weekly time frame, if this is going to load, sometimes you can see how it just price seems to almost exactly mirror open interest there. And so you can see as open interest starts to climb, as people load in leverage, but then as positions get flushed out, certainly you can see open interest dump. You can see the price dumps as well. So certainly we can see coming up here, open interest is coming up fairly high here. And so just be aware of that. And that doesn't mean that we're going to get a massive dump, although we could get a drop back to this 60K area. But it's just a really good metric to keep an eye on, as well as the fear and greed index. We are in greed right now. We are at 60. Generally, when we kind of get up to 70, 80 is when you start to, the red flags and the warning bells start to come. But certainly not all of these need to fire off. Sometimes the greed index can be at 60 and we can get a correction. Open interest is something, and funding rates is another one as well. Just to keep an eye on there. Certainly there could be a flush out, and we are starting to see a little bit of red across the board, a little bit of a pullback, but maybe that's just a little bit of a pause in the market. We'll look at the Bitcoin charts in a moment. Kindly remember for this cycle, the moment you start taking the screenshot of your poor profits is a good time to start taking some profits. And this is true. I see people posting, oh, I'm up 2-3 on this. It doesn't, that's great. But have you locked in any of those profits? Because at any time, boom, if the market drops, those profits are absolutely gone. This is why I have take profit levels on my cheat sheet on my HODL position, and I also have take profits on my swing trade position as well. That's why I like at least the two different portfolios, because you're like, oh, my first take profit for my HODL's not up to here, but I'm seeing I'm up, like, oh, now I'm down, and now I'm up, and now I'm down. Well, and if you're swing trading, you can take profit up. You have a separate portfolio. You leave your HODL portfolio alone until it's ready to take profit, and then you take profit. And this is why I took profit at SUI at $1.74. And now we've had a bit of a pullback. And certainly, I don't have a problem if we only pull back to here and then just keep going up, because it's my swing trade portfolio. It doesn't bother me. Nobody ever lost money taking profits. Oh, you took profits too early. No, I didn't. I took profits exactly where I wanted and planned to take profits before I even put in the trade. So it's everything is going exactly as I wanted to. And the next take profit level for SUI on my swing trade is $2.10. Okay. And then if we pull back, I'll add to the bags. And then when we go up, I'll take profit. And then we pull back and I add. And then we take profit. And then we pump. And it's just, that's how the swing trade works. Otherwise, you can be sitting there waiting forever to take profits. Let's not be a panic. Let's not be panic sellers. Don't FOMO buy. Don't panic sell. Don't try and catch every move. I like this. Within the next 6 months, this person, psychedelic, thinks Bitcoin will 150K. Maybe it will. More likely 210. Not sure. Your portfolio will at least 10x from there. That, if you're in the right altcoins, yeah, I do see where a portfolio, if you have 10,000, that could grow to 100,000. More likely 25x. Okay, we'll see. Don't FOMO buy. Don't panic sell. Don't try to catch every move. Buy dips, hold strong, sell little bits on the way up. It's going to be that simple, okay? And so certainly this is why if you watch these videos, you can get the entries and the exits. And then you don't have to be going, oh, I'm buying the big green candle, because all you are ending up being is exit liquidity for those who are now selling and taking profits, because they bought in the dips, they bought the fear, they bought the blood in the streets. And right now there is no fear. There is no blood in the streets. So I am not buying right now. I am selling. Okay, now for swing trades, that's a little bit different. There are little swings that you can catch, and that's okay. And that's why I like having the different portfolios, because obviously, if for HODL, I'm not really buying anything right now. But for swing trades, certainly we're in a ton of little swing trades here. And some of these altcoins are still in buy zones for HODL, because some altcoins have popped off and some haven't. So it's just being aware of that and knowing, and that's why I have my cheat sheet, so you can say, hey, that altcoin's still in the buy zone for HODL, I'm going to buy that. That altcoin's not in the buy zone for HODL, but it may be a good swing trade. Let's see if we're in the zone for swing trading. And so that's why I have my swing trade tab and I have my HODL tab. And of course, I share a lot of trades in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, you can jump forward in the most amazing Discord on the planet. The link is below in my cheat sheet and in the description of this video. And so Bitcoin is having its best September in history. China is printing, Fed is cutting rates, stocks are at all-time highs, unemployment is falling. Yet some people say if it's time to be bearish, block them. Well, I wouldn't go to that extreme. Certainly, sometimes I see people make bearish comments, And I will certainly always question those because I always want to listen and learn and understand their thesis as why you think a coin might be going to 47 or 43. So many people I see on Twitter, YouTube, wherever, posting this, and it's saying, how is this going to go there? It just make sense. They're all very bullish narratives. The chart, we're in a bull market. The chart has first head and shoulders. It has a bullish flag. There are just so many from a TA perspective and from a macro perspective. There are just so many things. So we were down at 52. People go, oh, we're going down to the 40s. I was like, no, we've put in the bottom here, in my opinion, and I think we're more likely to go up. And that's exactly what happened along the way. So just be careful about who you listen to there. And I do think there are some people, some accounts that are paid to FUD and are paid to be perma bulls at times as well. I'm not going to get into this on this video exactly. I will say that there will be a bunch of shorts that will be liquidated at 72 billion, 20 billion shorts, are going to be liquidated if we pass 72,300. I do think we're eventually going to get to that level but we're kind of stuck at 65 right now, and we're going to look at the charts in a moment. And then finally here, we have the Bitcoin monthly close. This is coming up really soon, and this is going to be huge because a bullish engulfing candle is forming on the monthly time frame. Previous occurrences have led to massive rallies for Bitcoin. We only have a couple of days left before the monthly close here, and so we can see that we could see a bullish engulfing candle. Whenever we've seen this, we've seen big moves to the upside for Bitcoin. Is the same going to play out? Certainly, I do feel that we are going to see some Uptember, some Movember, and I've got to come up with something for December as well. But certainly, I think we are historically playing out just as we've played out every other cycle. Okay, so let's look at the charts, and this don't fade, the tribal trades trend line. This is what I put in a long time ago. If you've been following this channel, this has been in since May. I drew this in, and actually, obviously before that, but you only saw it on the end of May. But certainly here you can see this is an area that I have been taking some distributing and taking some profits off the table, both on the trades that make sense to take profits on there. I took some SUI off the table. I took some Tau off the table, both on my swing trade positions. I haven't closed those swing trades. But look, we not only made a higher high on the daily, we closed. That's even more confirmation. So if this is wicked up and we've done a higher high on the daily, and then we drop back down and close below that, that is very bullish, okay? The fact that we've not only done that, but also closed a candle above this higher high that was set back in August is incredibly bullish. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't have some short-term pullback to around the 62K area, or possibly 61, even down to the 60K area down here. And certainly if we were to have a more of a deeper drop, maybe that 58K area on the table. Certainly we are extended here, and you can see when we do get extended, you can see these EMAs, these lines get extended, we do tend to have little pullbacks here. And even on this one here, we had a little bit of a pullback and then we pushed up. And you can see over here, whenever we've gotten extended with this EMAs here, tended to have a pullback, we got extended again. Again, you can just see this happening across the board, certainly. But you can see it can stay extended for a little bit. I mean, this was a huge move up and it stayed really extended. But at some point, it does like to come back to the top band of here. And you can see how it moves between the price. It's the same. It works the same way the other way. As we go down, we get extended. It doesn't. You can see here. Once we get extended here, we get too extended, and then we start to come back. This is another thing, just helps me identify the local bottoms. This is why I've been able to call these three bottoms exactly. I said the bottom was in here. I told everybody was buying. I added loaded up on all the levels on the cheat sheet. If you followed that, we took some great profit up here. And then I did the same thing down here, was able to call this accurately here, gave the levels in the cheat sheet, gave some swing trades, boom, we went up, took some profits here. Yes, we could have kept going, but I didn't completely close out the trade, took some profits off the table, and off we went. And then certainly, again, I called this one down here. A lot of people were calling for low 40s, etc. And I just didn't feel that was a likely scenario. I even have a guy on Twitter who was like, he disagreed with me or I disagreed with him. It was all very friendly. And then he's saying, hey, let's come back and revisit this tweet because he had it coming to 62 and then it crashing down. And so at some point, as we keep moving up, I'm going to say, hey, he was all very nice. He said, if we come back and you're right, I'm going to come and shake your hand or something to that effect. All very cordial, of course, but this is why you've got to be very careful who you follow in this space. And certainly, I have had a high level of accuracy calling these local bottoms here. And now I'm saying here that I'm taking a little bit of profit off the table. That doesn't mean that it can't stop here and keep going up. What do I think is the likely scenario here as we close out this video? What I like here is we're butting up here against this line of resistance. Remember, there is a huge ton of sell orders currently at 67. They can be removed, though, by the way. Those sellers can remove. They might just be scaring people to say, hey, you're not going any higher than this, but they might eventually remove those. They're called spoof orders, but they might leave them in. And so we could see that there is a little bit of profit taking here as well before the next leg up. That can happen where a lot of people say, hey, this is a good level to take some profits here. We're going to take some profits off the table like I've done, and that we could just go sideways for a little bit and then move up. The way that I look at it right now is certainly we are a little bit overextended here. So a little bit of allowing this to catch up and maybe we could have a little bit of a pause. And so we could just consolidate in this little area here rather than having any major pullback. Certainly down to 59,900 is where the 200 EMA is on the daily and the 50-day moving averages. This would be a great spot to re-enter some trades here, but certainly we could only see it come back down to around a 62 or even lower than that. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we might just see it pop up. But you can see how it's just hugging this area here. And when we've seen that hugging kind of effect, we saw a hug, a bit of a pause, a little drip, and then we went up. And then, we came down a little bit, we hugged a little bit, and then up. And so we're kind of seeing this effect. We could see something similar. We just popped down to this area here, come back and retest 65, maybe a little bit lower down to that 63 level, and then we continue on up. So right now I'm seeing a lot of strength here, but I have got some caution of that open interest that is quite high that we could lead to a little bit of a flush out. But certainly there is a good band of support here, and we just may come back to this area here. So this would be my first area that I'm looking at here, just in this little spot here. We've got around that 62 to around that 64K area that we could drop into, but we could just hold here. This is the level here, the 65 level. We could just bounce around in here before taking off, breaking above this trend line, retesting as support. So that's what I want you to keep an eye on. If we break above this trend line, retest it as support, then that could be a place to get in a nice swing trade there for Bitcoin and maybe some of the altcoins that may be at similar levels. So that's what I'm looking for. If we hug here, break above, retest, off to the races there, or if we have a slight pullback here, this is a nice little area, and then obviously further down we get into this area here, the 60 to 61, or down to the 58K zone. Those would be where I would have some bids if I was looking to build the position, if I was looking to buy some spot Bitcoin there for the long-term hold. But if I'm looking for a swing trade, certainly I'm looking for a break above this. Certainly, I'm not entering a swing trade at resistance, okay? There are people yesterday saying, hey, should I buy here? Well, you'd be buying at resistance, so it's fairly risky. And some people like front running. They go, hey, I believe it's going to pop up or whatever, and if not, I'll put a stop loss. But certainly, the way that I look to trade is I want confirmation, so a break above, a retest, get in the trade there for a swing, and then off to the races. And then for HODL, definitely there's some opportunities to add to the HODL bags. The real value zones are going to be around here, around that 61 down to around that 58, 59K level, where these key moving averages are there. All right, well, I hope that really helped you today. And of course, we have the next video coming up in a couple of hours, my altcoin video. So until then, happy trading.